What's going on? You're watching NFL Daily, the 2019 NFL Draft. It's over. We did it all 254 picks, all 7 rounds, live at youtube.com/chatsportstv. So hopefully you were there. Now, I'm the analyst today. Just kidding. I'm the host, Mitchell Renz.
The opposite of that.
There's the analyst, What Going Downey. Go give him a follow at What Going Downey. It's time to give out some grades on how the teams did in the 2019 NFL Draft. And we're starting off with the Washington Redskins. It's a good grade from you, Tom. You gave him an A.
Yeah, these are all gut reactions, initial reactions. Of course, we'll come back in a couple years and reevaluate, which is the best way to do it. But A equals great, B equals good, C's kind of meh, D means it's bad, and F means you got to fire the regime. So, Redskins, y'all crushed it. I thought this was the single best draft we had this year. Dwayne Haskins, I loved it in round 1. Montez Sweat, loved it. Terry McLaurin, fine with that one. Bryce Love, maybe a bit early, but the upside's there. Didn't like Wes Martin, but Kelvin Harmon, Jimmy Moreland, among others. I don't know who took over for the Redskins. They crushed it this year. Fantastic draft.
Washington gets an A, and now we're already going to throw in an F. An F for the Giants. Tom, people were saying you got to be a harder grader. Here you go.
I've always been a hard grader. I think in reality I got a little bit softer this year. So you guys said not to be soft, and then you're going to get mad at me when I give your team a bad grade. So there's no pleasing you people out there. The Giants draft sucked.
I'll tell you what.
You cannot rectify Daniel Jones. You took multiple defensive linemen. I guess I get one was round 7. I'm okay going DeAndre Baker. I don't mind Shane Zimenez, Julian Love. We'll see if Darius Slayton makes it. I like Corey Ballentine a lot, but banking on Daniel Jones being your guy? Nah. You traded Odell Beckham for Dexter Lawrence, by the way. Let's let that sink in, too.
I'm glad Tom's being a lot harder because it's definitely hard to please people when you're soft, Tom. All right, the Eagles' 2019 NFL draft grade is an A. The Eagles, Philadelphia, brotherly love. It looks like you got something for them.
Not a lot of quantity here, but good quality. I like the Andre Dillard pick, your long-term left tackle. I'm a big Miles Sanders and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside fan. Clayton Thorson could be a good backup quarterback for you, and Sharif Miller, maybe a bit early, but I liked it a lot for Philadelphia. There aren't many picks that I went, no, that's bad. So I think it's at least, maybe it's more of an A-, but I like it for Philadelphia.
So the Giants, they get an F. The Eagles, they get an A. The Dallas Cowboys, C.
This is such a lukewarm draft for me. That's the only way I can describe it. Now, you're hamstrung by not having a first-round pick. So this, and by the way, we're not going to include stuff like Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper. If you include Amari Cooper, guess what? It's an A draft for the Dallas Cowboys. I like Tristan Hill. You didn't really address safety until round 6 when you took Donovan Wilson at Texas A&M, who he's going to have to battle to make the roster. Maybe he does, might be a good special teams guy. I'm not banking on Wilson coming in and being your starter over George Iloka or Jeff Heath. McGovern was an interesting pick. Tony Pollard's going to be fun for them. I like the Jacksons, Michael and Joe. I like Mike Weber. I like Jalen Jelks, but it's just kind of an average draft for me. Makes it a C. It's not bad. It's just not great.
The Cowboys, they won the NFC East last year. So who's the favorite this year? Is it going to be the Eagles, the Redskins? They had the best draft. The Giants? Nah, we'll see. The Cowboys, who's the favorite in the NFC East? I want you to comment below if you want our answer.
Still
hit
think
them
it's
up
the Cowboys.
At What Going Downey? Yeah?
I think it's still the Cowboys.
Okay, there you go. Cowboys favorite in the NFC East. Now let's go to the Carolina Panthers and the NFC South. A-.
I like it a lot. I love getting Brian Burns. Fantastic value there. I'm not as high on Greg Little as others, but it did fill a big need. So, too, did Dennis Daly as a potential swing tackle for you. I love the Christian Miller pick. Will Greer's fine. Good value there. Terry Godwin, Jordan Scarlett, maybe they make the roster. They made some nice undrafted free agent moves already, which we'll break down later on this week. But I like the pick for Carolina. I think as it relates to Will Grier, I don't think he's going to replace Cam Newton. He's not the Cam Newton player.
No, Tom. They took him at 100, and we're always trying to keep it 100 here.
They needed a backup quarterback who could step in and play this year if needed.
Okay.
Will Grier can do that, I think, for you.
All right, Will Grier. Will he unseat Cam Newton? Down the road, type Y for yes, N for no. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints. We're giving them a B+.
Yeah, I'm surprised they did as well as they did with so few picks. So I'm not factoring in the Marcus Davenport, but I had a first, second-round grade on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I had a second-round grade on Eric McCoy, fifth-round grade on Alize Mack. With only 5 picks, maybe I'm being a little generous here, but I like it. Maybe it's a B, B+. Saints, it did a lot better than I thought they were going to end up doing.
New Orleans, good job. Let's go to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're giving them a C+ grade. Devin White at 5 overall.
Don't go kicker in round 5. I don't love Scott Miller. I love the Devin White pick. I'm kind of surprised your next 3 picks were defensive back if you went 3 top 116, 120 picks on defensive back last year. Like Anthony Nelson, it's a little bit above average for me. So C plus B minus there.
All right, let's go to Atlanta, where you're also giving them an average grade as well, a C. Make sure you guys follow him at WhatGoingDown on Twitter if you don't like any of his grades.
Yeah, feel free to tweet me and be all upset because y'all just want to be told why y'all had A drafts. C's average, all right? You got a good starter in Chris Lindstrom. Wasn't spectacular value. It's okay pick. Same with Caleb McGarry. Kendall Sheffield, John Kaminsky, high upside players there. I don't love going Marcus Green, Quadri Olsen. It's an average draft. It's not bad. Could have been better.
Could have been better. Somebody who was better, the Los Angeles Rams with an A-.
Hey, I love getting Taylor Rapp. I love getting David Long. I love getting David Edwards. I love getting Bobby Evans. And those are all really good value picks there for the Rams. Again, there's no first-round pick. They waited a long time to take Taylor Rapp. I didn't love Greg Gaines, but that's the only pick I went, I didn't really like that one. You focused on the secondary. You focused on the offensive line. It's a good draft class, the Rams. I'm pretty surprised by how well they did, given they waited till pick 29 in round 2 to take somebody.
The Seahawks are next up on the grading list here. They're getting a C-. They're always doing some weird stuff.
I waffled here between C- and D+. It's somewhere in that range for me.
Waffled?
Yeah, waffled.
I'm more of a pancake kind of guy.
Okay, whatever. I love DK Metcalf. I like the Gary Jennings pick. I like the Phil Haynes pick. Big fan of Ugo Amadi. Big fan of Ben Burkervin. But LJ Collier, round 1, that's the only edge rusher you take? Okay. Surprised that wasn't more there. Kind of, again, it's a C- draft for me. Travis Homer, I guess you wanted another running back, okay. Kind of surprised you didn't add more edge, more cornerback help. I love what you did at receiver. I'm a huge fan of DK Metcalf. You swap out Metcalf for Collier, that kind of evens it out. I thought Marquise Blair was a bit of a reach. We'll see about Seattle. Again, it's kind of in that C- D+ range for me.
We'll also see about the San Francisco 49ers. We're giving them a B grade. 4-12 last year.
Up and down. I love Nick Bosa. I love Deebo Samuel. Started there as an A with those first 2 picks, and then things kind of went a little weird. Jalen Hurd could be fun with Kyle Shanahan. I thought it was early. Why are you taking a punter in round 4? I have no explanation for that. It's a punter. Let's focus here on positional value a little bit there. A little early for Dre Greenlaw. I like the Caden Smith pick. Like the Tim Harris pick, 2 good values there. So tough for me to go lower than a B because I liked your first 2 picks so far. But this should end up as an A draft if they had made some other picks. So a little bit disappointing, but overall, it's a good draft.
The Arizona Cardinals kicked off the 2019 NFL Draft, and they also ended it as well. You're giving them a B grade.
Yeah, they really rallied early on day 3 to move up from a C grade to me for a B. Love Hakeem Butler. Love Deontay Thompson. Love Michael Dogby. Like going along Gillard there. Keyshawn Johnson, too. You focused on getting some offensive players for you. Found some O-linemen late. Still a bit of a red flag there for me. I might have considered maybe not going Zach Allen, but it's good value there. I like Byron Murphy. Love Andy Isabella. A lot of players I like there for Arizona. It was a good draft for them.
The one name I didn't hear you say is Kyler Murray.
Oh, Kyler Murray, too.
The Cardinals took him number 1 overall.
Hindsight, last year's draft's an F, but, this year's draft's pretty solid.
And that means Josh Rosen, he was ended up traded to the Miami Dolphins. So who's going to have more wins in 2019? Type A for the Arizona Cardinals or Type M for the Miami Dolphins? Let's go to Chicago, where the Bears, they're getting a C+ grade from you, Mr. Downey.
Again, does not factor in Khalil Mack. If it does, you got yourself an A. Plus Anthony Miller, also a reason why. So, look, the offseason overall from Chicago, factoring in last year, has been really, really good. But this is an above-average draft. You walk away with David Montgomery. I like him. I like Riley Ridley. Some nice flyer picks in Duke Shelley, Kareth White, and Steven Denmark. Little bit above average, but I'm not trying to, overinflate Anthony Miller or Khalil Mack from last year.
The Vikings missed the playoffs last year, but maybe a B+ grade. Maybe they can get into the playoffs this year.
Alexander Madison was too early for me. That was a round 3 pick for them. Irv Smith, I like that one a lot. I love Garrett Bradbury. Love going Drew Samia. They focused on the offensive line. Oli Udoh was a pick there. Weird flex, but okay to go long snapper there. I like the Dylan Mitchell pick too. It's above average draft. You're getting real close to being an A there.
All right, it's time to go to Green Bay, where you're giving them an average grade as well, a C for the Green Bay Packers.
I don't get the Rashawn Gary pick. I'm not a fan of that one. But beyond that, they took some of my guys. I like Darnell Savage. Elton Jenkins is good value there. I like Jay Sternberger in round 3. Big fan of Dexter Williams, where he was drafted. And then some flyers. Kingsley Keke, Kadar Holman, Ty Summers could have turned out pretty well. But I really don't like the Rashawn Gary pick. I have a tough time giving anything better than a C there.
All right, C. Now we're going to a C+ with the Detroit Lions. They selected T.J. Hawkinson, 8th overall. That was their first pick.
Love Hawkinson. Kind of lukewarm on Jelani Tavai, Will Harris, Austin Bryant. Love Amani Owarie. Ty Johnson could turn out pretty well. You double-dipped at tight end going Isaac Nauta. I think you'll be okay. It's a little bit above average, kind of in that C+, B- range. I'm a big fan of T.J. Hawkinson. Lions fans, if you're concerned, don't be. He's going to be a good player. We'll see how it all turns out in the end. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't focus on an interior offensive lineman. That didn't impact my grade too much, but I thought Tavai was a bit early. Same with Will Harris, Austin Bryant. Not bad by any means, but not great either. So C+ for me.
They were 6-10 last year. Maybe the Lions with Matthew Stafford can reach the playoffs in 2019. A team that had a great draft, the Buffalo Bills. You're giving them an A.
Hey, Bills crushed it. Ed Oliver, great pick. Cody Ford, great pick. Devin Singletary, I like it. Could be really good in Buffalo. Dawson Knox, totally worth it late on day 2. Roshan Joseph, good depth. Jaquan Johnson, good depth. Daryl Johnson, possible upside type pick there. Tommy Sweeney could be a long-term backup tight end for you. You crushed your first 4 picks, I think. I'm a big fan of what the Bills did this entire offseason. They're big-time winners for me.
Now let's look at the Miami Dolphins. They traded for Josh Rosen. You're giving him a C+ grade.
Yeah, big issues here is that, you got Josh Rosen. You only had 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. You had a lot of needs. So I know you're focusing on 2020. That's going to be a good draft for you. Can't really factor that into the grade here, though. I like Isaiah Prince. I love the Myles Gaskin pick in round 7. Fantastic value there. Chandler Cox could be a good player for you. I'm big fans of Michael Dieter, Christian Wilkins. I don't like Andrew Van Ginkel that much. If Josh Rosen pans out, this bumps up to an A. There is some risk involved there because your offensive line is not going to be that good. So I kind of worry that you might end up being back to the top of the draft, and then as Josh Rosen, your guy, he's got to do it all again. So it's not a bad draft by any means. You're focused long-term. You're building the right way, but this is not going to be the draft that says, oh, yeah, this is where we got our focal pieces, unless it does end up being Josh Rosen. I like the Christian Wilkins pick, though.
Time now to go to the New York Jets. You're giving them a B grade. They got Quinnen Williams, your top guy on your board.
Yeah, I love Quinnen. Tough to me to knock on that one there. A worthwhile risk there. And Ja'Kai Polite, Chuma Adoga makes some sense. Blake Cashman, too. Okay, I can kind of get behind that one. Kind of weird that my 2 favorite picks for them were Quinnen and Blake Cashman, which weren't actually needs for them. So that's kind of the big issue there. Is you only spent 1 pick on the offensive line. I would have liked some more there. Ja'Kai Polite better pan out, otherwise this draft might not be that great there. I like Adoga. It's a good draft, but not a great draft.
So the defending AFC East champs for basically my entire life have been the New England Patriots. So which team possesses the biggest threat to the Patriots this year? Type B for Bills, D for Dolphins, or J for Jets. Tom, out of those 3 teams, which team do you think after the draft is now the biggest threat to the Patriots?
Might be the Bills, guys. I love what they've done. I didn't love the Josh Allen pick, but they have done everything in their power to build the best possible team around him. I love the way they've built.
Okay, I'm actually going to type my J for the New York Jets. Let's go to the Patriots now. They got an A- grade, an A- for the Patriots.
I don't ever remember giving out this high of a grade for the Patriots. They've always done weird stuff, but I like what they did this year. And N'Keal Harris is going to be a great player for them. Love Chase Winovich. Damian Harris, he'll be fine. Yadni Kajust and Yelda Froholt, and they're going to work out great because the Patriots almost never miss on offensive linemen. I'm intrigued by going Jarrett Stidham in the 4th round, too.
It's interesting.
Maybe they can
scares me a little bit.
That he's got upside. The value was right for him there. I thought Joe was kind of a reach, but Winovich was worth a round 2 pick on my board, so that kind of makes up for it. Byron Cowart could pan out maybe. Weird flex to go righty punter, which they never do in round 5, but they didn't have that many spots available. They had a lot of early picks. They got some impact players. This is a good draft. I like it a lot.
All right, a draft that you also like is the Bengals. You're going to give them a B+ grade here for the Cincinnati Bengals.
A little up and down at times. I love Jonah Williams. I love Jermaine Pratt. I love Rennell Wren. I love Travion Williams. I love Rodney Anderson. I love Jordan Brown. I also hate the Drew Sample pick. That cost them an A grade for me. It's an above-average draft. I like it quite a bit. It's a B for me. It's a good draft. But I don't think Ryan Finley's the guy. This could have been an A+ draft if they had not taken Drew Sample, maybe gone a different quarterback over Ryan Finley. But it's not bad by any means. It's a good class here.
All right, speaking of A's, the Cleveland Browns, they get an A-. Now, even though they didn't have a first-round pick.
Yeah, go figure, right? It's an A++ if you factor in Odell Beckham here. I love getting Greedy Williams. I love the Mack Wilson pick. Shodok Redwine was a very solid one there. Sione Takitaki, a little early for my taste, but just pretend it's Mack Wilson for Takitaki. Swap those two. Okay, I got no problems with that one there. Kicker, whatever. Maybe it works out. Drew Forbes, a flyer there in round 6. Same with Donnie Lewis. Both guys I had draftable grades on. I like what Cleveland's doing a lot. They're in good shape.
Cleveland could win their division. All right, let's go now to the Ravens 2019 NFL draft grade. B+ for Baltimore.
Hey, common theme. Let's get some offensive help. Marquise Brown, speed. I love that pick. Miles Boykin, like that pick a lot too. Justice Hill, I think it's pretty solid. Ben Powers, big fan of that one. I like Dalen Mack a lot. I think that was a good pick up there by the Ravens in round 5. I am curious how they deploy Jalen Ferguson. I think he's going to be an edge for them. Kind of wait and see on that one, but the value was fine there in round 3. I didn't think that was too big of a reach. Amon Marshall I wasn't as high on, and we'll see about Trace McSorley.
Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They missed the playoffs last year after a B+ grade. Think that maybe they get in this year?
I love the Devin Bush pick. I love the Justin Lane pick. Big fan of Benny Snell. I thought it might have been a little bit early for Deontay Johnson, a little bit early for Zach Gentry, but much like the Bengals, maybe more so the Bengals, I don't have any wow, I hate this pick. I don't have any wow, this is incredible value, but there's a lot of good selections. That all adds up to a B+ for me.
I know exactly what you're going to say on this question, Tom.
Browns.
Who will win the AFC North? Now, the Ravens, they won it last year, but we want to know from everybody watching. So if you see this video on Facebook, if you see this video on YouTube, we want you to comment below. Who will win the AFC North? Tom's going to go with the Browns. I'm also going to go with the Browns. I'm on that hype train now as well. Let's go to the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jags, B+ grade for them.
A++ for the first 2 picks. Josh Allen, Jawaan Taylor. Josh Oliver was okay. Quincy Williams was a real stunner to me. I don't know if he's going to play safety or linebacker for them. I like the Raquel Armstead pick as a good backup running back. Gardner Minshew could be a good backup quarterback. I love the first 2 picks enough that it was always going to be a B grade for me. Kind of weirded out by Quincy Williams, but it was a very good draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Giving out more Bs in the AFC South for the Indianapolis Colts, even
good
though
draft
they traded out of the first round.
Yeah, good draft here. Rocky Sin, Ben Bannigue, Paris Campbell, Bobby Okereke. I like those picks. Marvell Tell could be a good sleeper there out of USC. Things kind of got weird late in round 5, but it's also round 5, so whatever. That I'm not going to dock them too much there. I think they got some more impact players, and I do trust Chris Ballard too, so a good draft by the Colts.
Warning to your wife, your D is in Houston, the first one that you gave out tonight. Tom, what's going on here?
You filled needs in Titus Howard and Lonnie Johnson. I don't love those players. I have those as reaches overall. Someone told me watch the highlights of Titus Howard. Number 1, stop watching highlights. Number 2, it's also FCS. You're not going to watch FCS offensive line highlights and expect to get a good feel for a player there. I do like Charles Menahue late. I like that pick a lot. He'll be a good player for them. If it pans out, you're in great shape. I thought they should have moved up 2 spots and taken Andre Dillard. I think they kind of messed up by not doing that. I'm also not that high on Lonnie Johnson. Collie Waring has upside, but I just didn't think it was that good of a draft, guys. I'm sorry.
Time to now look at the Tennessee Titans, and we're giving them an A grade.
Jeffrey Simmons, if you work past the off-the-field stuff, I'm fine with it. You got Jeffrey Simmons, A.J. Brown, Nate Davis, Amani Hooker, DeAndre Walker, David Long Jr. I don't see a bad or even average pick on that board. They're all good to great picks. I think it's an A.
All right, let's roll now to the AFC West, where you're going to see the Broncos. You're going to give them a B+ grade.
Yeah, Noah Fant, Dalton Reisner, Drew Lock. I love those first 3 picks. Draymond Jones, we'll see how he fits in. I worry he's a little bit too much like DeMarcus Walker in terms of the way Denver's going to use him. Justin Hollins, no problem there. Solid pick, kind of a B pick there. Juwan Winfrey, we'll see how he ends up doing. Denver's already pushed out to think that he's going to be the next Philip Lindsay for them. Hope he is. I had better receivers on the board. Overall, though, this is a very good draft. B+.
All right, this one might shock some of you. The Chargers, A grade.
I love this. I am trying to find a bad pick here. I don't really have it. Jerry Tillery, I had him as a top 25 player. They got him in round 1. Love Nasir Adderley. Trey Pipkins, maybe a bit of a reach, but You can develop him. He'll be okay there. Love Drew Tranquil in round 4. Easton Stick could hang around as a backup quarterback. I wouldn't mind playing him at receiver, but that's me being radical. Emeka Egbule, I love him as a Sam linebacker for the Chargers. Good pick there. And Cortez Broughton, I had a mid-day 3 grade on. So the Chargers, I think he knocked out a bunch of needs there. Maybe not on the interior offensive line, but I think he'll be okay there if Forrest Lamp can develop. It's a really good draft by the Chargers. Stick could be a long-term backup in the NFL.
It's time now to look at the Kansas City Chiefs and their grade, B-. Yeah,
again, not factoring in the Frank Clark trade here. I like Mecole Hardman. I think it might have been a little bit early for him. Love Juan Thornhill, though. Kalen Saunders is fine. I like the Darwin Thompson pick. I think you're in good shape overall. You're kind of in a tough spot with everything that went on with Tyreek Hill. This was a good draft, bit above average, but kind of had to wait a bit for your first-round pick. It's good. It's just not great. By no means bad.
So the Chiefs won the AFC West last year and heck were the number 1 seed in the entire AFC in general. So with that question, are the Chiefs the AFC West favorites without Tyreek Hill? I would argue that the AFC West is the best division in football. I mean, the Chargers were 12-4
NFC
also.
South. It's a good division. AFC West definitely up there though.
So are the Chargers the favorites? Type Y for yes, type N for no without Tyreek Hill. All right, let's go now to Oaktown. The Raiders, you're giving them a B- grade.
They came in today entering with a C. I thought they absolutely crushed day 3. I love the Max Crosby pick. I love the Isaiah Johnson pick. I love the Foster Moreau pick. Hunter Renfro's a really good player there. Quentin Bell is a classic round 7 lottery ticket. Maybe it works out, maybe he doesn't. I thought you went a little weird on the first couple picks with Cleveland Ferrell. Josh Jacobs is fine. Abram is fine. They were all kind of average, safe picks early on. You got bumped up to a B- because I really, really liked what you did on day 3. In the end, it's a pretty solid haul. It's a good haul. It's a B- for me.
Good haul there.
Nothing to be upset about if you're an Oakland fan.
Good haul there for the Raiders. Now, who's going to win Rookie of the Year in 2019? We want to know from everybody watching. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, I want you to comment below who will win Rookie of the Year in 2019. You want to make your prediction?
Kyler's probably the favorite, but if you give the ball to Josh Jacobs enough, could very well walk out with Rookie of the Year there.
Kyler Murray, Josh Jacobs, we want to know for you who's going to be the Rookie of the Year. Make sure you guys subscribe to youtube.com/chatsportstv.